This was probably the only one of the other of the three kids that got two armor digivolutions was saw more screen time than the others. Like the submarine guy, that was completely. I think that was a terrible idea because you're like, okay, you're gonna get this digi egg, but you can only use it when you're underwater.
But no, you see, if you see other scenes, you can see he kind of floats in the air. So maybe he's got the hover boots on, and maybe he could fly into space. But
I did like the whole armor digivolving thing. I think it would be really cool for a way for the other kids to go to Ultimate without DNAing. If they could use the champion form and then combine that with armor digivolution, maybe that would do an Ultimate thing. I think that would be a pretty cool idea.
An Ultimate armored version?
A champion armored, because they can go to champion, but they can't digivolve the Ultimate.
Yeah.
So if they get armor digivolve from champion to make some kind of an Ultimate, then.
And then we have a multiple versions of everything.
Exactly, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, then I guess that we move on to Chris's next moment.
My next moment would be when Daemon is fighting with Ken, and Ken uses his Dark Digivice to send Daemon back to the ocean world that we were talking about earlier, and pretty much he had to rely on the power of Kari and the other Digidestined to help him there. So it proved that even though Ken feels responsible for all the bad things that happened when he was Digimon Emperor, he still had to rely on the help from his friends to get through the situation and overcome everything. So I think that was a really cool moment of showing Ken's improvement of being able to trust the other Digidestined.
Well, it just shows how far Ken has come from the Digimon Emperor and how it's gone from a full 180 in his personality and the way he interacts with everybody, and how he once despised the Digidestined but now relies on them.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a very gripping scene.
You thought it was a what?
Very gripping scene.
Very gripping?
Yes, very intense.
Do you agree with how it was played out, or do you think that something else should have happened to that afterwards?
Should have backfired or something like that?
Well, just that it's kind of... Daemon says that even if you put me in the ocean world, it's not strong enough to hold me, so... It kind of left it undone. I just didn't know if you thought that it was okay for the writers to leave it like that, or if you were expecting more from it.
Nah, because, you could have been sucked through, any kind of black hole anywhere, okay, it's just, the point is we get into a hole, okay, so it's just, okay, then we move on from there. Okay, it sits it down.
Okay.
I guess I'll go now.
Yep.
One of my favorite moments was Chimeramon. Just because he's a mutant Digimon of all of the Season 1 champions.
Mm-hmm.
He was really cool.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting thing for people out there to figure out. Can you figure out all the body parts that make up Chimeramon? Without looking, with your eyes closed.
Alright, it's...
Growlmon, Greymon, Kabuterimon's head, Devimon's arm, Skull Greymon's... What?
You say Growlmon.
Or, sorry, Garurumon's
legs, yeah.
You can see Skull Greymon's arm, I think.
Yeah. Devimon's arm, Anjumon's wings.
Yeah.
Wagamon's arm.
Right. Metal Greymon's hair. Kabuterimon's head.
He said that.
Did he? Okay.
Yep.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
He has 4 arms and 4 wings, and that's it, I think, right?
Well, I think it's interesting when you say when you bring up this Digimon, because when you say that the way basically it's a Frankenstein creation, but when you say that would be DNA digivolving gone wrong? It's an alternative version of DNA digivolving where you got all these, it all went wrong. That would have been unique, kind of, if all the it's like, oh, they're all weird looking.
Yeah, that's a good point, but it wasn't like he DNA digivolved. He was just like, I take these Digimon and I surgically put them together. But yeah, I guess it's where you can draw an analogy for DNA gone wrong. I don't know, Josh, what do you think of the whole situation?
Well, I think it was cool. Again, one of the new things they added with Mutant Digimon into Season 2. He was kind of a weird Digimon, though, because he was not really that strong, but at the same time, really powerful.
You're saying he wasn't that strong?
Well, I mean, not compared to later in the show. But at the time, they just had fits with him.
Well, I just think that it's like anything else with any season, that the enemies always start off weaker than eventually the final end boss, and that's where you see all the evolutions of everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but I guess that leaves me with my next choice, and my next choice will have to go with probably the most humorous, funniest moments that ever graced Digimon. That is the relationship, quote unquote, between Matt and June, which I think are very hilarious and are genuinely funny. And I think it's just, it kind of makes me wonder though, like what the whole big deal is of Matt not wanting to hang around with June, because it's not like, I don't know what the deal is, but though it just leads to some unique funny moments, and you really don't see that with in Digimon before or after. So I think that's one thing that this season can say in terms of humor.
I'm gonna let one of them else follow up first, because I followed up first on like everybody so far.
Okay.
I mean, there's not much more to say, but it did produce some funny moments, and it added more of a comic feeling to Digimon that wasn't really there before as much. And I do really like how they added June as the creepy little sister. It's nice.
I thought it was more of the annoying little sister, but that's just me.
Wait, what? Same thing.
You mean older sister, because she was older than Davis.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, I think it's the that whole scenario was like what should have set Matt in that relationship, and once again we get to the controversy of Matt and Sora.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like that was just like a curveball thrown into temporary, like just fill up time slot in the season, and then like in the Christmas episode, all that's like, wait, what happened to Matt and June? Why did that happen if he's really gonna end up with Sora? So.
Well, I thought it would have been a lot better if they hooked up and probably did something for a little bit, and then said, hey, that's not really working for us, so let's go our separate ways like that.
At least give some kind of explanation on it, yeah.
Well,
she's still at that concert and it's like, Matt, I love you, blah, blah, blah. So.
And then she goes on to Joe's older brother, which, tell me where that comes in.
Oh, right, that did happen. I forgot about that.
That's right, that did happen.
Okay, makes sense to me.
Okay, so now that, since you're the one talking, Chris, I guess that means you're the one who goes next.
You want me to go next?
Yep.
Okay.
Because I just went.
Okay. My next would be TK and Ken's confrontation. This was relating back to Chimeramon being created. It's a rare moment that we see one of the other Digidestined, besides like the leader, like Davis or Ken or Tai, actually taking a stand on their own. And you pretty much see throughout TK's, not really so much in Season 1, but in Season 2 you can see how he hates the powers of darkness and everything after after all the loss that they suffered from season 1. And I think TK as a kid probably took that the hardest. So I think that it was great that he actually stood up to Ken and pretty much called him out and everything. So that's pretty much, what I
Now,
have
see,
for that.
you did a better explanation about this than you did last time.
I did it better?
Yeah, because I always saw that as, okay, so he punches him, and that's not really a trait of TK's that we don't really see, but because you say that the power of darkness is something that he faced before in the first season, and now that he's seeing it again, and he actually says something about it, I would agree on that. Makes total sense. Makes total sense why we do it now, and your explanation is more crystal clear than it was last time. Because I'm going, how come you're saying that? Because it doesn't make sense. This time you did a lot better, Chris.
There you go. See, it takes us 2 takes to get our points across.
It takes 2.
Josh or Jonah, follow up, please.
I mean, the violence is still out of character because he's never really been the kind of guy to be violent.
Yep.
But, I mean, as you said, Chris, it shows how much he truly hates the powers of darkness and how he will do anything to stop them because he's been through so much as a child and a young teen.
Hello?
Yeah.
No, he stopped.
You're talking and you stopped, like, all of a sudden without, like...
Oh.
He was really thinking about the question. I think
Okay, well, that's basically it.
But you know what? That's actually setting up a character trait of someone else, because then someone else actually rips out that philosophy of one punch solves all problems. But we'll let everyone out there guess who we're talking about. So we're okay with that. Okay, well, yeah, that was Chris's now.
Well, I did want to follow up with his saying that TK was out of character. I don't think it's a problem for a lot of the secondary characters, like we see TK and Henry and Rika and the other characters in the other seasons to go out of character in special occasions. What I don't like seeing is how Yo Lee goes in and out of character constantly throughout the entire season, so you don't really know what she's all about. If that makes sense.
Yeah, well, Yoli was just annoying.
Well, yeah, you said you want to do the criticism of season 2, like, all in itself. You said you want to set that for its own episode.
I know, no, I was just following up, though, that because he said that it was out of character for TK to take that stand, and I just wanted to say, it's okay. It's not like we're saying that any Digimon character who's ever, gone out of their normal character in any certain particular season is a bad thing. Just I wanted to make that point. That's all.
Well, him going out of character was a good thing, but in the end, it was still out of character.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so that was Chris's moment. So now it's,
I think, Jonah.
It's late.
I'll give him time to think. Another one of my favorite moments is how they showed you kind of the Digidestin across the world.
Yes, and that was one of my moments too.
And how, because you never really knew any of the Digidestin other than the original 8 in season 1 and the 5 in season 2. And then they slowly introduced more through Mimi's friend, Michael, or whatever his name was. And then the ones from other countries, and then they all finally united, and it was just kind of cool to see how they brought together the world rather than just 5 kids.